We got a toxic family member is at it again with another story. The story now is she did not get invited to my 75-year-old sister Lou birthday party. Now, the problem is I've been here 7 years back in Detroit. I've been to at least 6 of Lou's parties. Every time I went, my sister knew about it. She didn't care if she had an invite or not. She wasn't going. So why is it that she's telling this story about how she didn't get invited this year? Pay attention. The same reason she tell every other negative story. Look at what happened. She telling the story to people around her. They listening. Because it's told in a negative way. Now, they looking at Lou and James as though they did something wrong based on her story. So, in her defense, they gotta say something. So when they say something, people hearing it. They're responding to what's being said. Next thing you know, we got people talking about pulling up. See, this is exactly what she was trying to get out of it. Just like with every other negative story she tells about everyone. Lou and James has been her target for 40 years. I've been around this woman most of my life, and it's been the same thing. Pay attention. It's just like another story she tells about Lou. The house that we grew up in, my mother's old house. Y'all have heard the story. If you've been around this woman any time over the last 30 years, you done heard this story about how I was living in the house, didn't pay the taxes, didn't tell nobody about the taxes hadn't been paid, and my sister Lou beat me out the house. Now, if you just pay attention, it really don't even sound right. But it's a story that's being told over and over and over again, hundreds of times. Got everybody repeating it. They walking around like they know something with their chest out saying it. He lost his mama's house. He didn't pay the taxes. Yeah. But let me tell you, the whole story ain't being told. It's just another story told in a negative way. Now let me tell you what happened. My mother died when I was 13. This woman becomes my guardian, my toxic sister. When she becomes my guardian, she has control over my mother's estate, meaning the house, all of her belongings, and all her bank accounts, and the insurance money, and my monthly Social Security check. Now, all the family had already said, because I'm the only child amongst them, everything goes to me. She's my guardian. She's over everything. So who's responsible for paying the taxes? I'm 13. Let's talk about it. Now, we stayed at my mother's house for almost a year before we moved into her house. Now, because there's so much toxic stuff going on in her household, I can't take it. I live in a house for 9 months and I'm gone back to my mother's house. I had my oldest son at 14. So now it's me, his mother, and him at my mother's house. And we ain't got nothing because she cleaned the house out. It ain't nothing but beds to sleep in. Now, we catching hell over there. No food, utilities being shut off, all kind of hell going on. Another story, she been telling the world how bad we was doing when we was over there at my mama's house. How bad of a parents we was, putting our children through all of that. But she ain't telling you she was getting my check and giving me very little money to live on. This went on 15, 16. I had to become a master at grocery shopping to make sure we had food on the little money we had. I started learning to budget money and keep track of the money I was getting from her. At 17 was the first time I asked this woman for my whole check. She get on the phone with my brother June and said, hey, I don't want to be his guardian no more. Well, that's really something, ain't it? You know, soon as I asked for my whole check, she been getting my check 4 years. First time I asked for the whole check, she didn't want to be my guardian no more. Yeah. Now, my brother June becomes my guardian. Now he has control, or he's receiving my check. But what about all the excess money that I didn't get for the 4 years this woman was my guardian? Where's that? See, because when we did the numbers, in the 4 years, that money I didn't get, it came out to $9,100. And I know what you're saying. Oh, that ain't no money. Yeah, but see, we talking about a 17-year-old kid that struggled for years after his mama died. And when you do the numbers on it, a 17-year-old kid in 1987 getting $9,100 would have been like giving a 17-year-old $2,400 today or $24,000 today. Now, for the first time since my mother died, getting my whole check from my brother, we finally able to live a little bit, do a few things that we ain't been able to do. And lo and behold, 4 months later, I turned 18, check cut off. Gas get turned off. Now, we in this house with no gas. It's getting cold already. House, big old house, trying to heat it with a couple of heaters. Ain't no money coming in now. Doing real bad. All over again. Now, my brother Greg comes over. It's about the middle of winter now. He said, hey man, you ain't supposed to be living like this. What about all the money you were supposed to get when you turned 18? He said, you need to get on the phone and call Trisha. I get on the phone. Hey, what about the money I was supposed to get that was in the bank accounts? She paused. Oh, ain't no money. And then she say, listen, pay attention to her words here. She say, it's only one account with your name on it. Now you think about this. How would my name be on any of the accounts? My mom died when I was 13. The inheritance money was coming from her accounts. So how would my name be on any account? Let me tell you the kind of money we talking about. See, for anybody who knew my mother and father, saving money was a big thing for them all their life. They would be what we call today as ballers because they had money. Now, when my father passed away in 1974, he had a $60,000 insurance policy. Now, of course, today, $60,000 policy ain't nothing. But in 1974, a $60,000 insurance policy was like getting $366,000 today. So when my mother went to the bank and deposited the check, the bank told her, they say, hey, with all the money you already got in the accounts and this insurance policy, they said, just having your money in our bank, you're going to be able to live off just the interest. See, back then, banks paid a high interest rate on your money. So having money in the bank paid you. She was going to make enough to live on. Didn't have to work. But on top of that, she got a Social Security check for her and me. Now, 1983, she dies. She got a $60,000 insurance policy. Now, when you do the math on that, hell, we way over 100,000. Maybe even at 200,000. But see, just for the sake of argument, let's just say she did spend some over the years. Maybe she had to spend some while she was sick. So let's just say, with the $9,100 that was supposed to be left over from my checks, all together, let's just break it off at 100,000. Put it on the low end. But what did I get? What did I get? $150 from an account that ain't been active since 1974. I took that. I went to the bank. They said because the account has been inactive so long, and my father who opened it passed away, they said you gotta go get his death certificate before we can release the money. Now, by the time I go stand in line, catch the bus all the way over there, stand in line, get the death certificate, the bank is closed. And see, it's real bad right now because the hot plate we was cooking on had broke, couldn't even cook. Had to wait till the next day, go get the little $150, buy a new hot plate. But I didn't bitch and moan, I didn't complain. I didn't even think about it no more. Whatever happened, I buried it. I got out here and figured out a way to get us out of there. And I ain't never told nobody that that woman stole my money and left us over there. But here it is. Every time I look around, I'm hearing this story of how bad we was doing, how bad we raised our children, how bad of people we are. Because we was over there starving, but you ain't telling nobody. You was the one that caused it. We out here starving and you and your family living good off my money. Now, if that ain't enough, I come up out of it. We start doing good, leave my mother's house. I come back less than a year later. When we left, we had left all the stuff that we had accumulated since we was 15. So I got the dumpster, hired some people to come clean it out. I got a contractor I know. He went in, started working new doors and tear out the kitchen, gutted it out, putting up new drywall, bought cabinets. We rolling. Neighbors talking about it. Family coming, they talking about it. Now, I'm talking to Lou. Me and Lou hadn't seen each other but a couple of times since I was a child. But we've been interacting for the last year, year and a half. She's been helping me do a lot of stuff. She asked me, she said, hey, what about the taxes? I don't know nothing about no taxes. Ain't nobody ever told me, taught me nothing. I don't know nothing about house taxes. She said, okay, I'll go and I'm gonna find out for you. Now I'll let you know. I say, okay, I'm gonna be in Ohio, just call me. Now when she called me, she said the taxes ain't been paid on the house since our mother died and it was lost. But she figured out a way to get it back. Right now, they saying it's gonna be $4,000. I say, no problem. When I get back, we'll take care of it. Now, my sister Tricia contacts me because everybody's talking about what I'm doing at the house. Now, mind you, at this point, I ain't talked to this woman in years. Now, I ain't holding no grudges. I ain't thinking about nothing that happened because I'm up. We talking. She asks him about the house and I'm telling her what I'm doing, what's going on. And I tell her about the taxes. Hey, the house was lost because ain't nobody paid the taxes all this time. And Lou went down there. They said, I just got to give him $4,000. Bam, everything will be good. She say, they lying. They telling a lie. That house ain't been lost from taxes. All they do is lie. They trying to beat you out your $4,000. And she on her rant like she always do. And I'm listening, you know, but already pay attention. She saying they lying. She telling me they trying to beat me out $4,000. So what's she trying to do here? Get me looking at them negative based on what she's saying. Now, I say, why they got a lot of me? They the only ones been helping me do anything, since my mother died. They the only ones. I say, when I went to get me a car, they showed me and helped me with the paperwork. When I wanted to get an old school car, they showed me how to find old school cars at a good price. Now, I say, hey, when I needed stuff for the house, cabinets, furnace, they told me where to go. I say, they even, a building came up for sale. And they let me get in and go half on them on a down payment. And they didn't already move their business in there, but the building is so big that we working on is putting a soul food restaurant in there. And because it got an upstairs, we also talking about putting an after hours spot up there. Now, she listened. But then I tell her, we also been looking at headstones for my mother. See, because she took control of everything. But she didn't get our mother a headstone. And that's when it hit a nerve for her. But I went on and I said, yeah, they helping me get some life insurance on me too. She say, you better not let them get no life insurance on you. I say, why not? She said, because they found James' brother in the trunk of a car. And can't nobody tell her they didn't have life insurance on him. Now, can you imagine your sister, who was your guardian, telling you this story about your older sister who helping you? She robbed me and she helping me, but she telling me the story about them. What is she telling me? Because she didn't stop there. See, she kept going. She used everything I told her. She said, yeah, you're working on Mount Clair. When you get that done, they gonna wait just as good as as y'all get the restaurant done and open, the after hours. They gonna walk away after they find you in the trunk of a car. They gonna have insurance money, the house, the restaurant, after hours spot. They gonna walk away like fat rats on you. You see what's happening here? You see what's happening here? See, you gotta pay attention to these toxic people before you start reacting on the story they telling you. See, this sent me into a psychotic rage. I took that story like God Almighty came and told me that. And I started acting a damn fool. I stopped talking to Lou and James, didn't say nothing to them. The first thing I did was start talking to people around me. Now you think about that, I'm in the street. I got real street people around me. They was ready for whatever to go attack family based on her story. You know, I swear, God has really been with our family because it's been so many times family has been ready to go to war and wasn't nothing stopping it but God. You can guarantee it. Because see, I said, the hell with the house, the hell with everything else we doing, and I ain't talking to them. And when I did finally talk to them, I was talking crazy as hell to them. They didn't know what the hell was wrong with me. Because I never went and told them about the story she told me. Now let me tell you something. They found James' brother in the car. Yeah, that was true. But what happened? James' brother was abusing his wife. His son told people when he grow up, he gonna take them out. And when he turned 16, he did just that and went to jail. So when people was talking about this story, they didn't say they found James' brother in the trunk of a car and that was it. No, they said his son killed him and they found his body in the trunk of a car. Son went to jail. That was the story being told. But listen to her story, which was nothing but a lie. When you know a whole story and you tell parts of it, it's a lie. And this is how the situation with this house went down. From her story. See, my plan, if she hadn't told me this story, I was finishing the house and I was planning on buying some more. We was gonna open the restaurant, the after hours. Well, guess what? Me and my family was gonna be looking pretty good. I'm out the streets. But what happened? This lie drove me further into the street. And it destroyed the relationship I had with my own sister for 30 years. We just started getting close in the last few years I've been here. All because of a story. So you better pay attention when you hear a negative story about family. This ain't nothing new for her. This ain't just started. I got 40 years of stories of what she been doing with Lou and James. Because this ain't the only one. Let me tell you, when my mother was sick, dying of cancer, every time I look around, she telling stories about Lou and James. Over and over again. On the phone, telling everybody. In the household, telling everybody that's there, helping take care of my mother. She did it to everybody, the same way she do it now. The problem was, we're carrying the weight of the head of our family dying. Ain't nobody got time for all this pettiness. But she didn't stop. She kept going. She tell Lou, hey, you come to see mama? James can't come with you. Well, goddamn, who the hell is you to tell your older sister she can't see your dying mama? Lou was the bigger person. She just said she ain't even gonna go because it was so much toxic shit going on every day. So she had to see at the hospital. My mother was in and out of the hospital a lot. Whole lot of people had to do it. It wasn't just Lou. Now, at the hospital, it's beef at the hospital. People going to the hospital strapped up. Back then, they ain't had no metal detectors because the beef is so strong. People ain't talking about just pulling up. They strapping up. Now, my mother in the hospital, she got to direct traffic. She know these people got a problem with Trish, so they can't come when she there. But it was a whole load of people. If people down there and she coming, she got to try to get them to leave or tell her to hold on. She dying of cancer. The hell she directing traffic for? What was all this about? It was about the same thing. Stories. One day, Trisha walks in the hospital room. Lou is there. Claudia, my cousin, is there. Another person that is major beef with. It's a war in progress. Trisha see them in the room. She turn around, walk out. She walk out to the nurse's station. Tell the nurse, I want them to leave. The nurse say, "Oh, that's your sister and your cousin. They family. I can't make them leave." She upset. She go back in the room and start raising hell. Hollering to the top of her lungs. My cousin Claudia, she's thinking, my mother don't need to be dealing with this. So she gonna go get James, who out in the hallway, so he can get Lou and this situation can calm down. She go get James. James comes to the door, trying to get Lou. Trisha say, "James hit me." Security come, all hell breaking loose. Now, her story. James hit her. She get back home, telling everybody. Mind you, we got a house full of people that's been helping take care of my mother. Everybody hyped up. They ready. With all the stories she been telling about Lou and James, now he hit her, it's on. They strapping up, everybody ready. She on the phone calling other people. Everybody getting involved. We about to go get family based on her story. My brother Greg, he out looking for James. Greg been in and out of damn jail. This fool has shot his girlfriend. Now, once again, before nightfall, you know that time when you're going out hunting, word get out. See, this story here, it ain't just her. It's 4 other people in that hospital room. You got James, Lou, my cousin Claudia, and my mama. Word got back. James ain't hit her. James never even went in the room. He didn't even get close enough to touch that woman. But she said, again, another story to get people looking at family in a way that it's time to go to war over a lie. See, like I said, this thing that she been doing with Lou and James, it go back 40 years. This just 2 stories, but 2 stories that lives could have been lost over a lie. See, let me tell you something. When people speak negative about other people, man, you gotta pay attention to that. It's a reason for that. It's a whole lot bigger than what they saying it is. Just stop and think, man. This ain't nothing new for us. We've been dealing with this 40 years, but it's all lies. Everything.